Well, it's now time for the highlight of our show to introduce our speaker. Our speaker today is Stephen Poplin. Now, this is the short version. Not kidding. Stephen Poplin, M.A.C.H.T., is a transpersonal hypnotherapist and has been a college instructor in philosophy and humanities. He moved to Virginia Beach in 1981 for 9 years to study the Casey readings. He's given talks on astrology and the Casey philosophy, and he began his professional career as a past life regressionist and spiritual coach. As a therapist and teacher, he has clients nationwide and in Europe. Stephen was the international director of the Newton Institute for Life Between Lives Hypnotherapy and a co-director of the Astrology Institute West in California. His practice includes past life regression work, transpersonal journeys, life between lives integration, and Stephen is a minister of this fellowship and workshop leader with clients worldwide. He's known for his compassion, insights, and humor. And he's written Inner Journeys, Cosmic Sojourns, life-transforming stories, adventures, and messages from a spiritual hypnotherapist's casebook, which is really a manual for living, cleverly disguised as books on reincarnation. So please welcome Stephen Poplin.
Thank you, Lloyd. Nice to be back here. And I especially like, Lloyd, you talking about the Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, because about 10 years ago I was there on the German-Austrian border, in the very town that the author was living and writing, and it was really great to go there in the evening and to be there doing some carols and singing that with the locals. So, welcome here. It is so far a very festive and very positive, many spiritual experiences and feelings so far. I'm feeling the great energy. I dedicate this talk here to travels and to travelers. Let's think big. I note the cosmic alignments in the skies. Planets travel. They align, they move on, then they go in retrograde. They realign again, and prognosticators look up into the sky and try as best as they can to make sense of it all. The stars are relatively slower, but they too are moving. We just had a solar eclipse here in the traveling sign of Sagittarius. Pack your bags. As above, so below. I wish to talk about your vehicle, and where we wish to take it. By that, I must say, you are the vehicle manifested here on earth, and you have a journey, a life path, a direction. What was given to you and what you do with it. Let me go back. When I was a boy, I prayed for God for a bicycle. I didn't get one. Then I was told that wasn't God's way. So I stole a bike and asked for his forgiveness. Don't you like happy endings? As you all may know, I believe there is something very special, sometimes preordained in the moment we were born. There is a power in the moment. Something is in the air, and something ethereal, our souls, were up in spirit, planning and hoping, creating challenges and opportunities. We wanted a bike. Actually, we wanted many things, but oftentimes didn't know how to get them, or were confused about the directions on the box of life, written in Chinese. We come into this world given a swat on the butt, and the Easter egg hunt begins. Whither is happiness? Not too often I can use the word whither. How do we get to our goals? Is there a clear path? If there was clarity, what have we done with that? One can describe it this way. We have been dealt a hand. Those are our cards. And then we play our best with what we have been given. I do believe there is a joker in the deck. Let's look at the date today, this day, an almanac of events, births, and opportunities. It's the 5th of December. And in 1847, on this date, Jefferson Davis is elected to the U.S. Senate. No comment. 1933, December 5th, the 21st Amendment to the United States Constitution is ratified. This nullified the 18th, the Prohibition. Legislating morality didn't work out so well. Yes, we can change our minds. This means that other things in the Constitution can be nullified, by the way. But I won't mention the Electoral College. But I will recall December 5th, 1955. E.T. Nixon and Rosa Parks led the Montgomery bus boycott. Sometimes you got to do the right thing. How does us all tie together? There is something special, even magical, in every moment, in every birth, in every decision. There is power in the moment. Carpe diem. We are working with things, opportunities beyond coincidences to synchronicities and choices. May our choices be informed and inspired. We are all born special, unique, and we are born into a world of dualities, contrasts, and life lessons. We need a map. We, spirit in the flesh, we need a map. And the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You all know that one. Yeah. With our uniqueness, each of us can have a special mission. And besides being true to who we are, we come to important times when we must make the right decision. What did Yogi Berra say? When you get to the fork in the road, take it. We walk our paths, and we can make our destinies. We can also get lost in detours and wrong turns. Mark Twain voiced a particular talent. I quote, "I must have a prodigious amount of mind. It takes me as much as a week, sometimes, to make it up." I was just out of town for quite a few days. The mountains of North Carolina were calling. I was driving here and there to places I had never been before. Thank goodness for my GPS. I can track myself. Luckily, the government can't track me. And find out where I'm at. And it tells me where to go. It can also tell me if there is slow traffic, an accident up ahead, and if there is a speed trap. Thus, I can track the government. But I have to set a destination. have to know where I'm going. I don't have to know every street and turn, but I have to give a destination address. I remember the days before GPS, by the way, when I had to read a map, to actually learn how to read a map. How many of you can do that still? Huh? Well, most of you, yeah, great. I wonder what's going to happen with the next generation. There were other trips I took back in the day with just a general direction. Why? Well, any place was fine. It was an adventure, and still on the way to my final destination, which was experience. I took a few cross-country trips that way, because it's not really the destination sometimes, it's the journey. On one hitchhiking trip, I spent the night out in the desert. With a sleeping bag, thank goodness. I was ready for such contingencies, which is especially good when you don't have a clear destination. Be prepared. You can take care of things, issues, and emergencies that way. The stars were overhead. They were fabulous, so clear, especially out in that desert air. In the morning, I slowly moved around because I had heard that rattlesnakes seek warm bodies at night. Yes, I was sweating that morning. And I was alone. Can you say amen? Michelle Obama tells us, you can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen. As I was researching this particular date and the people and the events associated with it, I came across this remarkable coincidence. 3 amazing kids were born on December 5th. 1901. Walt Disney. I don't have to introduce Walt Disney, the American, animator, director, producer, screenwriter, Walt Disney World. 1901, December 5th, Milton H. Erickson, a personal hero of mine, master hypnotist, psychologist. He is like a magician to many hypnotherapists. And then on that very same date, 1901, December 5th, Werner Heisenberg, the German physicist and academic, Nobel Prize laureate. On that same date, these 3 people, well, the inside track, the inside story is that they had a Uranus and Sun Sagittarius opposition Gemini in, can you believe that? By the way, it's a very rare alignment. They happen to be born there at that time. The next time that Uranus will oppose Pluto will be 2046. So sometimes very rare moments come, these waves that happen in history. And if we happen to be born at these special times, then we've got a little bit of extra jazz. We have some connections with perhaps a special message to give. However, those very same planets, we all have in each of our charts, each of our horoscopes, those very same planets. They might be doing a different dance. These remarkable men are a lesson to astrologers and to people who generalize. Oh, okay, then he's a Sagittarius. That means, Well, they're 3 very unique people. But they did share things like initiative, focus, vision, hard work. Those are the things that they did have in common. I'll bet that there were probably many other interesting people born also on that very day who are not in the history books. And now we go to your birthday. And there you are. There you all are. How many people here have a birthday? Welcome, welcome. The most miraculous part of your adventure has been completed. So, we now have our vehicles. We now have a GPS, a destination, hopefully, and we're on our way. Did I forget anything? As I was driving from North Carolina yesterday to here, I was reminded once again, as you're going down those highways, going as fast as possible, actually faster than the speed limit, then a group of fast driving cars come in a pack, and there could be 2, 3, 5, 7 of these cars, and they all seem to be coming together and get out of the way. You all seen that, driving? Yeah. Over the years, I have identified them as wolf packs, and then I just say, whoop, see them in the mirror, they're coming up and they're coming up fast, like, get over to the side, and they are zooming all together. I assume that they don't know each other. I assume that they just met each other on the highways and they said, vroom, vroom, let's all go in a speeding wolf pack. They found their group. It's a temporary alignment of a group, a team. And people tend to hang out in groups, right? We're in a group right now. We've done that since elementary school. Hanging out with your peers, looking for your tribe. Ah, yes, that's part of the plan. That's part of the recipe. Join a group, find a team. But be careful about choices, because you don't want to join a street gang. But some people do. We have to set our course. We have to be choosy in our ideals. I quote another Sagittarian, James Allen, who was one of the first positive thinking writers. He wrote, "As a man thinketh." A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. First, we need to acknowledge the preciousness of time and opportunity and life and loved ones. This is all connected to setting one's ideal. Imagine a setting, a campfire, nighttime, the stars twinkle overhead. A discussion is underway. An earnest voice confides. So do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. And that's from J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. Some of these quotes, by the way, are meant as inspiring suggestions, and I speak as a hypnotist, because I'm planting some seeds here. Here is one now. Take a deep breath, attune, and listen. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The bird awaits in the egg. And in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. And that was another quote by James Allen in another book called As a Woman Thinketh. What do you thinketh? We can be gardeners. Seeds are planted. And with sun, rain, and good seasons, plants spring up. How does your garden grow? As we grew up, there were other gardeners, other seeds. Some of them were from family, parents, church, country. So many seeds to weeds, but some nice flowers too. Then we grew up and became our own gardener. Had to do some weeding. We can lament the weeds in our garden and the mistakes along the way. How many here wish you could take something back? Something that you could do over again, but this time right? How many? Mm-hmm. Very few. It's nice to see here. I don't know these people. Usually it is a universal lament. One can, however, lighten the sadness of the past, rearrange the meanings, and shift the emphases. I do that a lot in my sessions, thanks to wise spirits and caring angels. Oftentimes the tears come. The Christian author, C.S. Lewis, reminds us, crying is all right in its way while it lasts, but you have to stop sooner or later, and then you still have to decide what to do. What are you going to do? Set your sails. Set your ideals. Learn the terrain. Pack some stuff for emergencies. Find your wolf pack, your team, your tribe, and encourage each other to do your best. Gather for strength and identity. That's why people go to churches, to meetings, to shamanic ceremonies, spiritual retreats. It's about reinforcement, to reconnect, to remind yourself and each other of what and who you truly are. Turn to your right and tell your neighbor, you are amazing. I was just messing with you with that direction. Usually people turn to the right to see the back of someone's head. I had an evil friend who taught me that. But remember to get proper directions. So turn to your neighbors and tell them, you are amazing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You are amazing. You are a spirit inhabiting a body, semi-directed by a personality, which has been influenced by one's upbringing and society. Dust out the cobwebs. Reassess the various directives and beliefs. Compare your ideals with inspiring movers and shakers. They are guides along the way. And so this last quote here, James Allen again inspires us with his book, As a Man Thinketh. Cherish your visions. Cherish your ideals. Cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts. For out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. Blessings to you all, O builder of your dreams. Thank you for listening.